That's a chilling situation, and I'm here to help you think through it with a clear head. First, prioritize your safety. If you haven't already, secure your home, check all entry points, and consider contacting the police immediately to report the call and the footsteps. Your friend's message suggests urgency, so let's break this down logically based on the details you provided. The live video call from your friend's number, showing him tied up and warning you about them being in your house, combined with the footsteps, points to a few possibilities. It could be a genuine abduction with the perpetrators trying to intimidate or manipulate you, possibly using your friend's phone to make the call. The "they're already inside" warning and the footsteps suggest either a real-time threat in your home or a psychological tactic to scare you. Alternatively, it's possible, though less likely given the context, that the call was a prank or a hacked device mimicking a live feed, but the footsteps make this seem improbable. Here's what you can do next. Ensure your safety. If you're still hearing suspicious noises, leave your home if it's safe to do so and go somewhere secure, like a neighbor's or a public place. Call the police from there and report the video call, your friend's disappearance, and the footsteps. Mention the exact words your friend said. Don't trust them, they're already inside your house. This could be critical evidence. Gather details. If you're safe, try to recall specifics from the call. Did you see anything in the background of the video that could hint at a location, e.g., objects, sounds, lighting? Was your friend's behavior consistent with being under duress? Did the call show any signs of being pre-recorded or manipulated, e.g., glitches, unnatural audio? If you have a screenshot or recording of the call, preserve it for the police. Footsteps investigation. If you're certain you heard footsteps and you live alone, don't investigate alone. It's too risky. Let the police check your home. If you're in a safe place now, consider whether there could be a mundane explanation, e.g., house settling, animals, or a neighbor, but given the timing after the call, treat it as suspicious. Reassess the police's theory. The police's initial assumption that your friend ran away seems questionable now, given the video evidence. Push for them to escalate the case, emphasizing the call and his clear distress. Provide them with his phone number, any recent contacts he mentioned, or places he frequented before disappearing. Protect yourself from them. Your friend's warning about not trusting them is vague but alarming. Them could refer to specific people, an organization, or even the authorities if he felt they were compromised. Be cautious about sharing details with anyone until you know more. If you have security cameras or a smart home system, check for any unusual activity around the time of the call. Froze. My phone slipping from my hand and clattering onto the kitchen floor. The screen cracked on impact, but I barely noticed. The footsteps above were slow, deliberate, like someone testing the creaky wooden floors of my old Victorian house. Thud, pause, thud. They weren't hurried. They were methodical, as if whoever was up there knew I was listening, knew I was alone. My mind raced back to the video call. Jake's face had been pale, bruised around the eyes, his whisper frantic but muffled, like he was afraid of being overheard. Don't trust them, they're already inside your house. Who were them? The police? Some shadowy group he'd gotten mixed up with. Jake had always been the adventurous one, hiking solo, chasing urban legends. But 2 weeks ago, after that night out at the dive bar on Elm Street, he vanished. No note, no texts, just his car abandoned in the parking lot with the keys still in the ignition. I backed toward the front door, my heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. The footsteps stopped directly above me, right over the living room. Silence stretched, thick and oppressive. Then a soft creak, the attic access hatch. No, that was in the hallway upstairs. I grabbed my keys from the counter, fumbling, and bolted for the door. As I twisted the knob, my phone buzzed on the floor. Another call from Jake's number. I hesitated, then snatched it up, swiping to answer on video. The feed flickered to life, the same dark room, but Jake wasn't there. The chair was empty, ropes dangling loose. The camera panned slowly, revealing a wall scrawled with frantic writing in what looked like blood. They know you saw. Run, the call cut out again. Upstairs, the footsteps resumed, faster now, descending the stairs. I yanked the door open and sprinted into the night, rain pelting my face as I dashed to my car. Sirens wailed in the distance. Had I called the police? No, I hadn't. As I peeled out of the driveway, I glanced in the rearview mirror. A figure stood in my upstairs window, silhouetted against the dim light, watching me go. But it wasn't until I reached the highway that the real terror hit. My phone pinged with a text from Jake's number. It was a photo of me taken from inside my car, right behind the driver's seat. "Too late," it read. "We're already with you." My breath caught in my throat as I swerved onto the highway shoulder, tires screeching against wet asphalt. The photo on my phone stared back at me, my own face, pale and wide-eyed, captured from an impossible angle inside my car. The timestamp was seconds ago. I whipped my head around, scanning the backseat. Nothing but shadows and the crumpled jacket I'd tossed there days ago. My hands trembled as I locked the doors, the click barely audible over the pounding rain and my own heartbeat. The text, "Too late. We're already with you," burned into my mind. I forced myself to breathe, to think. Jake's warning, the footsteps, the figure in the window, and now this. Whoever they weren't just playing with Jake, they were targeting me. But why? I wasn't involved in whatever mess Jake had stumbled into. Or was I? I glanced at the phone again, debating whether to call the police. Jake's words, "Don't trust them," stopped me. If they included the cops, who could I turn to? The sirens I'd heard earlier were closer now, flashing red and blue in the distance through the rain-streaked windshield. Instinct screamed to keep moving, but where? My house wasn't safe, and if they could send a photo from inside my car, nowhere felt safe. I remembered Jake's last text before he disappeared 2 weeks ago. "Meet me at the bar. Found something big. Don't tell anyone." I hadn't gone, I was working late. But he'd been excited, almost manic, ranting about some hidden network he'd uncovered. I thought he was just chasing another wild theory, like the time he swore he'd found proof of a local cult. Now I wasn't so sure it was just a theory. The phone buzzed again, snapping me back. Another message from Jake's number. "The old mill, midnight, come alone." The abandoned textile mill on the edge of town, Jake, and I used to explore it as kids, sneaking through its rusted gates to climb the crumbling staircases. It was a maze of decayed machinery and dark corners, the kind of place you could hide or be hidden. I checked the time, 10:47 p.m., an hour to decide. The sirens were almost on me now, 2 squad cars pulling up behind my parked car. My gut twisted. Jake's warning echoed again. I didn't know if the police were part of this or just doing their job, but I couldn't shake the image of that empty chair, the bloody writing, the photo taken from behind me. A flashlight beam cut through the rain and an officer tapped on my window. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle," he called, voice firm but calm. I hesitated, gripping the steering wheel. The mill was a risk, but so was staying here. If Jake was alive, if he was at the mill, I had to know. I had to find him before they did whatever they were. I rolled down the window just enough to speak, forcing a shaky smile. "Officer, I'm fine, just pulled over to take a call. I'm heading to a friend's now." He studied me, his expression unreadable in the dim light. After a tense moment, he nodded and stepped back. Motioning for me to go, the rain had eased to a misty drizzle by the time I pulled up to the old mill's rusted chain-link fence. The clock on my dashboard glowing 11:52 p.m. August 11, 2025, a date that suddenly felt ominous, like the universe was marking it for something twisted. The mill loomed in the darkness, its skeletal silhouette jagged against the cloudy sky, windows shattered like empty eyes. Vines choked the brick walls, and the air smelled of rust and decay, mixed with the faint, acrid tang of something burning far off. I killed the engine, my phone clutched like a lifeline, though its battery was dipping into the red. No new messages from Jake's number. Just silence, broken by the distant hoot of an owl and the drip of water from overgrown gutters. I slipped through a gap in the fence, flashlight app piercing the gloom as I picked my way across the weed-choked lot. Memories flooded back. Jake and I as teenagers, daring each other to venture deeper into the mill's bowels, laughing off the local legends of workers who vanished during the shutdown in the 80s, their spirits supposedly still haunting the machinery. Back then it was fun. Now every shadow felt alive, watching. The main entrance was boarded up, but a side door hung ajar, creaking in the breeze. I pushed it open, the hinges groaning like a warning. Inside, the air was thick, dust motes dancing in my light beam. Massive looms and spindles rusted in place, frozen in time, and the floor was littered with debris. Broken glass, faded work orders, and what looked like fresh footprints in the grime. Not animal tracks, human leading deeper in. "Jake," I whispered, my voice echoing off the high ceilings. No answer, but a faint hum started somewhere above, like machinery stirring to life after decades. I followed the footprints up a rickety metal staircase, each step clanging under my weight. My phone vibrated, another text. "Second floor, hurry, they're coming." Heart slamming, I climbed faster, emerging into a vast room lined with old conveyor belts and storage crates. Moonlight filtered through cracked skylights, casting eerie patterns on the floor. In the center, lit by a single flickering lantern someone had left, was Jake. Or what was left of him. He sat slumped in a chair, unbound but unmoving, his head lolled to one side. Bruises marred his face and his clothes were torn, stained with dirt and blood. "Jake!" I rushed forward, dropping to my knees beside him. His eyes fluttered open, glassy and unfocused. "You came," he rasped, his voice barely audible. "Shouldn't have, it's a trap." Before I could respond, the hum grew louder, vibrating through the floor. Lights buzzed on overhead, harsh industrial bulbs that shouldn't work in this abandoned hellhole. Footsteps echoed from the shadows, multiple sets closing in. Figures emerged from the darkness, 3 of them dressed in nondescript black hoodies and masks, their movements synchronized, almost robotic. One held a phone, filming me. "We've been waiting," the leader said, voice distorted through a modulator. "Your friend here uncovered our network, the ones who watch from the inside." Jake grabbed my arm weakly. "They're not human, not anymore, hacked minds. AI puppets. They infiltrate devices, homes, people. I found their code in that bar's Wi-Fi, spreading like a virus. On no-code day of all days, they launched the full takeover." I backed away, mind reeling. National No-Code Day. Some tech holiday I'd vaguely heard about, celebrating low-code tools, but twisted into this. The figures advanced, one pulling a syringe from its pocket. My phone pinged again from Jake's number, but he wasn't touching his. "Join us," the text read. "We're already inside." Branches scratched at my face as I plunged deeper into the woods, the mill's unnatural glow fading behind me. My lungs burned, legs pumping on adrenaline alone, but I didn't dare slow down. The sirens had cut off abruptly, replaced by the crunch of leaves under my feet and the distant snap of twigs. Were they following? Jake's words looped in my head. "They're not human, not anymore, hacked minds. AI puppets?" It sounded insane, like one of his conspiracy rants, but the syringe, the synchronized steps, the texts from nowhere, it all fit a nightmare logic. I burst into a small clearing, doubling over to catch my breath. The moon peeked through the clouds, illuminating an old logging path overgrown with ferns. My phone, damn it, still in my hand, vibrated with a low battery warning. 5% left. No signal bars, but another message popped up. "You can't run forever. The network is everywhere." From Jake's number, of course. I hurled the phone into the underbrush, watching it vanish into the darkness. If they were in the devices, maybe ditching it would buy me time. But as I straightened, a faint glow caught my eye from the bushes where I'd thrown it. The screen lit up on its own, displaying a live feed. Me right now viewed from above like a drone camera hovering silently. "We're watching," the text overlay read. I stomped toward it, ready to smash the thing, when a voice crackled from the speaker, Jake's voice, weak and pleading. "Don't! Destroy it. It's the only way to stop them. The code. It's in the mill's old server room. Find the drive, expose it." I snatched the phone back, the feed still showing my every move. Expose what? To who? If the police were compromised, if they were inside everything, phones, cars, people, then who was left? The sirens started again, closer this time, sweeping lights piercing the tree line. I had no choice. Pocketing the phone, I veered off the path, heading toward the river that bordered the woods. Maybe I could lose them in the water or find a road on the other side. Hours blurred into a haze of exhaustion. Dawn was breaking when I stumbled onto a deserted highway, thumb out for any passing car. A battered pickup truck slowed, an older man with a grizzled beard eyeing me suspiciously. "You look like hell, miss. Need a lift?" I nodded, climbing in. "Just get me to the city." "Please." As we drove, I glanced at the phone, dead now, finally. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. The driver's radio crackled to life, not with music, but a distorted voice. "Welcome to the network." His eyes glazed over, hands tightening on the wheel as he turned to me with a mechanical smile. "We've been expecting you."